We have been on a journey to discover the meaning of and the rhythm of the days of our lives, specifically the days of our weeks. We've already gone through Monday through Thursday, and today, with your permission, I would like to mess with your Fridays, and I would like to basically ruin your Fridays for the rest of your life. Because in 2015, I listened to somebody who gave the same exact talk on the same exact subject, and it impacted my Friday so much I can't experience a Friday without thinking about it. So if I've had it messed up, I just need to pass it along to as many people as I can because it genuinely, I think, impacts our lives. So let's get into it. Fridays are named after the Norse goddess Frigg, who is actually Odin's wife. She is the goddess of marriage, motherhood, and love. Now, of course, the Romans had to be different, but not exactly different. They named Friday after their goddess of love, Venus. In Spanish, it's Viernes for Friday. It's from the root of Venus. But when you go back to that Norse side of things, Frigg, it's actually from the verb friga, which means to love. And there's this culminating experience all around Friday. And most people love Fridays, which makes sense that it's a day of love. But we have our own encapsulated weekly Valentine's Day dedicated to these goddesses of love and how it moves throughout our lives. So I want to challenge this week, because what is so fascinating to me is that we experience 52 of these every single year. Yet somehow the rhythm kind of just disappears from our minds and we don't really see it, right? You and I have been living a day dedicated to Norse and Roman gods of love every single Friday for our entire life. And what's fascinating is, as a society, right now, just a global society, we have never been more desperate for, in search of, hoping for, or waiting for love to find us. Yet for many of us, Fridays will come and go, and there is no significant impact on the rhythm that it brings into our lives, on our view of love. So that's what I want to talk. I want Fridays to be a day where we fight to bring our view of love back. Some of us may have gone through some really terrible things in life. Some of us may have had breakups, or some of us may have gone through divorce, or some of us may have lost loved ones. And so love is a really hard topic to talk about, because it's something that, we kind of want, but we're not sure if we ever will actually get. And I really want to challenge you throughout this conversation specifically to make Fridays a day where we fight to renew our minds towards that view of love, that we would fight to bring love back into our hearts and back into the hearts of others around us, that we would fight, hashtag bring the butterflies back, if you would, right? Because we have this ability to love not only ourselves, but to love others. And we have this ability to impact others. When was the last time that somebody impacted you and you just felt loved on? Somebody who came to your rescue, or came to your protection, or maybe it was just somebody who gave you a gift or gave you a compliment, and it impacted you so much because of the way they loved on you. See, I want to ask a couple questions here, because I think in order to understand it, we have to ask, what do you actually love? And this is a question that I've had to ask myself, and I've actually had some really good journal sessions where I've just been laying out, what do I love? What does Kyle love? What do I wake up in the morning and think about first thing? What do I go to work and think about? What do I get off work and think about? What am I excited to do when I get off work? What am I focused on throughout my life, or what am I rescheduling things to fit around? What do I love in life? I want to ask this question to you. What do you love? See, we say we want love, but how do we know what love actually is? There was a study a long time ago, and they asked a bunch of people, what does love feel like? And pretty much everybody they asked, they had this long pause before they answered, because they were accessing a memory of the last person that made them feel loved, or the last memory where they experienced a moment that was full of love. See, I'm going to ask you this question. What does love feel like for you? What does love feel like? Now, I want to read this verse to you, and it's probably a verse that you've heard, whether you've been around scripture or Bibles or you don't believe in God. It doesn't matter. You've probably heard this verse at some point in time in a Hallmark movie or during a wedding. But when I read this verse, don't check out. When I read this verse, I want you to ask yourself, who in your life comes to mind? Who in your life comes to mind when I read this verse? 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Who comes to mind when I read that? What in your life comes to mind when you hear those words? And is this how people you love would describe you? How are we becoming love? How do we fight for love? It's we have to become that love. A great author, his name's Bob Goff, once he said, "Love is not something that you find, it's something you become." And I fully believe that. I've seen that in my life where as I've really just embraced, okay, I can't find it, I have to become it. And as I've done this throughout different seasons in my life, I've gone through seasons where I'm just searching for love, and I'm searching, right? Like the song, searching for love in all the wrong places. Like I've searched for it high and low. I've used dating apps. I've tried to get to know people. I've tried to connect with people. I've gone on dates, and it's something that's so difficult because it's like I want it, but at the same time, like it hasn't worked. But it's not something that you find, it's something you become. And you may be sitting here listening or driving and listening, and you say, Kyle, I hear you, but I'm all out of love. I'm out. I poured everything I had into this relationship and then I got burned. Or maybe you say, Kyle, you don't understand the life I've lived. You have no idea the things that I've done. How can I become love when I don't even love myself? And I think I've been there. In fact, I've probably been at that latter point where I feel unworthy, unlovable, and incapable of being able to walk in love as well as impact people around me with love. Because I feel empty, like I don't have anything to give. Like I don't have anything worthwhile. And if you're feeling like that, then Fridays are your day. Friday is the day where you fight for love. I want Fridays to be a day where we fight for love. I want Fridays to be a weekly reminder that we as humans, we cannot do this alone. That we would build our capacity to love others, and through loving others, we would learn to love ourselves. Because when we love others and we love ourselves, it makes our presence so much more important because our future has so much more purpose. When you are living your life, not just for you, but for others, it puts the responsibility and purpose of I need to do something for my life because it will impact the lives of others in the future. Whether it's children that you have, that you need to make sure that you stay fit, or you focus on your health, or you focus on your body, or you focus on your financial health, because you have children who years down the road are going to reap benefits of what you're sowing today. Or maybe you are single and you're in that single season and you need to work on you. You need to go get some help, whether it's therapy or a personal trainer or whatever that might be, that's going to help you diet, exercise, or focus on the things that you want to reach or the goals that you want to do, because you know that as you pour into yourself there, it's going to pay dividends down the road. Because you're going to find yourself in areas where you are going to want to isolate yourself. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go out. I don't want to hang around people. I've been burned by people. I don't want to spend time. But then you find yourself alone and wondering where everybody is. Endlessly scrolling social media, trying to figure out if somebody meant something because they liked a photo. See, Fridays are a day where we fight to heal our view of love, that we would fight to become love, and we would fight to love others, and through loving others, we would learn to love ourselves that much more. So maybe you need to make Fridays the day where you say, Friday's date night, period. Date night with my spouse. We are going to bring the butterflies back. Our relationship has been rocky. Our marriage has been rocky. Fridays are the day where I don't go hang out with the boys. I don't go hang out with the girls. Fridays are the night or the day where I dedicate a little bit of my time to loving my spouse the way she deserves to be loved, or the way that he deserves to be loved. Because we, as humans, we cannot do this alone. Fridays are the day where you call up your friends who you know are single and say, hey, let's just go out as a group. Let's all have some fun together. Let's not leave anybody out in this. Let's just, as single dudes or as single girls or as a co-ed group, let's just go see a movie. Let's go out to eat. Friday is the day where we will fight for love, because it's a day dedicated to it. And on a scriptural or a spiritual aspect of it, one of the reasons why Friday is so beautiful is that's the day that love died on a cross. Friday is the day of ultimate love when Jesus went to the cross for us. That's how it impacts me. And it's a reminder daily, every single week, that when Friday rolls around, we get 52 of them every year. It is a day where I wake up and I know that I want to fight for love. And I want to fight for my view and the people of around me and their view of love. Because I want them to look at me and say, Kyle is patient. Kyle is kind. He doesn't envy. He doesn't boast. He isn't proud. I want to culminate that and be somebody who has become love, not somebody who is searching for love. That's going to do it for this conversation. I really appreciate all of you who are listening. I hope that you'll have a wonderful rest of your week. I've had such a blast doing this series. I cannot wait for Saturday, coming up on Thursday. For Thursday's episode, we'll be talking about Saturday. But I really appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to give grace, show love, and as always, stay stellar. Peace.